So moving on to another very interesting topic, scalar energy. It's a very subtle form of energy healing which can be used to enhance human health. It works by stimulating the body's bioenergetic communication network through which the body's innate restorative healing systems, they respond without any side effects. So we have with us Mr. Praveen Agadi. Uh, he's a health coach working with us at Functional Medicine Clinic, and he has devised strategies to use scalar energy for detoxification of heavy metals, microplastics, glycophosphate, and various other toxins, open the detoxification pathways. And over the past few years, we have seen wonderful improvement in children using the scalar energy. So very warm welcome, Mr. Praveen, and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. I'll just, Hi everyone. So thank you for this opportunity. We'll start, basically we'll try to understand what is this.
Mr. Praveen, just 1 second. Can you just lower the screen so that your face is completely visible? Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi. So we'll try to understand what scalar energy is, what we can do with this, and how it can help in various situations we are in right now. So if you understand about the types of energies in the world, there are mainly two types of energies. One, which is the electromagnetic energy. It's basically a transverse or a linear energy you can see on the screen. You see electricity, or you see magnetic fields, or we have also developed devices for healing with this energy. They're called as microcurrent devices, PEMF devices, where there are magnetic beds. There are TENS devices which have a little more current than the microcurrent devices, which are used for pain killing purposes. There are microcurrent devices which we had yesterday, like the Healy. So all these use a form of energy called as electromagnetic energy. Our body also, the nervous system communication generally happens with this electrical energy. But the subtler form of energies where the communication happens is the scalar energy, about which we'll be talking now. Scalar energy is it's a longitudinal wave sort of a thing. It's an implosion energy. It's generally represented as seen in the picture. There is no device as of now to measure, but there is a doctor in Canada by the name Dr. Ibrahim, who has developed a measurement technique which involves a human being as well. You might have heard about this energy with various names like Tesla waves, or especially in India, we call it prana, chi. And the very great thing about this energy is it can actually act as a carrier wave. So if you want to transfer anything, any frequencies to your body, this is a very good form of energy wherein we can easily transfer the frequencies, and it's very harmonious and gentle to the body. So with that in mind, this becomes very easy way of dealing with the things. So scalar energy is basically, if you have anything like any shape which has a digital root of 9, which is generally what we refer to as a Tesla, which we refer to Tesla, and also anything which has a golden ratio, like the Fibonacci ratio of 1.618, which is basically our DNA are having this helical structure, which has this ratio in which is 1.618. So any of these things actually implode something called a scalar energy. So all our DNA are actually charged and work with the scalar energy. There are other batteries in our system like ATP, ADP, or the acupuncture meridian system. All of them work on electromagnetic energy, but the DNA itself has this implosion energy, which works on scalar energy. So you might especially if we have reference, like our Indian temples were built in a geometry in such a way they can actually implode scalar energy. They don't need a source, because just the geometrical biogeometry of it helps in generating this energy. So now once we are able to stimulate our body's bioenergetic communication network with these scalar remedies, the body's innate restorative healing systems, actually respond to these remedies, and they don't have side effects because the way this is administered is almost just with water uh, and a few of preservatives. So once we understand this scalar energy, we have to understand how we can use these energies to help in healing our bodies. So if we understand every molecule or any atom or any substance has a specific patterns of frequencies. It may be a set of frequency, it may be an individual frequency. So if there is a toxin, it has a particular frequency. If there is an organ, it has set of frequencies. Uh, uh, you might have read it in when in our schools, wherein a resonant frequencies soldiers walking on the bridge or can actually destroy the bridge. Or similarly, there's a resonant frequencies, and there is there's a constructive wave and a destructive wave in that manner. So every substance or a molecule has these frequencies. Keeping that in mind, what we come to is there are two types of frequencies that can be used. So in human body, there are different organs, and every organ actually vibrates at a particular frequency. If at all these frequencies are given to us as it is, say through any means like to scalar energy, the body's ability to vibrate, the vibration of these particular organs starts increasing. And if at all we give the frequencies of detoxification or say a pathogen, then the body accepts these frequencies, and it basically starts detoxifying or killing the pathogens. We'll see it. What we do is we can digitize these frequencies which heal the body. You can see a constructive interference, which you might have read in basic physics. Again, if there is lever, and if lever is vibrating in a particular frequency and it is at a particular amplitude, if we go on giving this particular frequency continuously, the amplitude goes on increasing and the function of lever goes on increasing with this. And that's how we improve the health of the liver. And if we give similarly kidneys, the kidney health will go on improving. With this particular concept in mind, if there is any issue with liver, if the liver is not able to regenerate few of its cells, by increasing its amplitude, basically liver will start regenerating. It will start working better. Similarly, for any toxins in the body. So the interesting thing is we can digitize the frequencies of the toxins in the system. Say we want to detoxify mercury, so we can take mercury. Now, when we are detoxifying, we have to do something called as a phase shift. Wherein we push the waveform to 180 degrees ahead, so that it becomes a destructive, like we have a destructive interference. So basically, if at all there is mercury in the body, we take it out of phase and we administer those frequencies. And as soon as you administer those frequencies, the body identifies them. The information goes to the DNA. DNA starts telling the body what to do, and it starts detoxifying. So these are digitized frequencies which are imprinted on solution of water. Which has a little bit of alcohol for preservation purposes. So the best thing about this is it just stimulates our bioenergetic communication. There's no chemical in it. So basically you administer this under the tongue and the body will start releasing the toxins. And if there are toxins present in the body, it will detoxify. If the toxins are not present in the body, it will just be a water solution. So the advantage with this is there's actually no chemical going inside. So this gives us an unique opportunity wherein if at all we have a set of frequencies we want to try, say like a group of heavy metals, we can administer them. If a particular frequency is if a particular toxin is not present in the body, there's nothing going to happen. If a toxin is present, it will basically start detoxifying. So we can combine a few of the frequencies which best match a particular condition, or we can go for a way wherein we can basically get a lot of heavy metals together and try to detoxify. One of the best advantages to this way of medicine is it can detoxify even from inside the cells. What I mean by it is, a lot of our toxins are actually inside the cells, like mercury, methyl mercury, or cadmium, because of the negative charge of the of these heavy metals. They actually tend to slide inside the cells, and they actually stay there. Once inside, we know it actually screws up our Krebs cycle, wherein ATP, ADP is produced, and other enzymatic productions. So if they're inside our cells, even chelating agents are big, which cannot pass through the lipid bilayer of the cell. So we want to, if we use this particular modality, there is a chance of the body eliminating the toxins from inside the cells as well. And we can use the ADTA and DMSA, which are great chelating agents, to do our rest of the work. So it goes very well with the chelation therapies. As again, these don't have side effects because there is only, we are not administering any chemicals to them. Coming to the toxins, there are huge number of toxins we actually are exposed to on day-to-day basis. Heavy metals like arsenic, cadmium, mercury, pesticides like glyphosates, herbicides, fungicides, and others. And now, especially these plastics, there's a lot of exposure to plastics, BPA, BPB, phthalates. So we have seen when we are using these on autistic kids, especially like once we start like administering heavy metals to them, they start responding very fast. Like within 15-20 days, we start seeing the improvement in understanding or balance or various hyperactivity as other things. There is household toxins like perfumes and shampoos. There is benzene, formaldehyde, and like basically gasoline, petroleum products, and other things. Then there is air pollutants like especially tobacco smoke and other things. And there are also dental toxins which actually have issues like thioether and anesthetics. And I'll just show you what each of them actually cause. You might have already listened to many of the speakers speaking about the effects of toxins in the body. I'm just summarizing them. There can be inflammation. There is autoimmunity that can happen. There is mitochondrial damage that can happen, because of which mitochondria produces the ATP and ADP, which are the main source of energy, where the electrons are produced, and the whole electron transport chain has to happen, wherein the cells have to be produced. So once the mitochondria damages, then we are in big trouble. They can actually damage the neurons directly, and they have negative impact on tissues, organs, and various things. And these are various ailments we have found, which actually are affected by toxins, presence of toxins. There's one interesting thing I want to talk about, which is the COVID, post-COVID symptoms we are having, a lot of us. So many of us have spoken about this. I'll just cover briefly about it. So COVID as a virus has spike proteins in them. So these spike proteins, when you are infected, these spike proteins, you get infected by these. So they start circulating in the body. Even after you're free from COVID, these spike proteins actually are circulating in the body. They're one of the places where actually they go and latch to our receptors known as angiotensin converting enzyme, which is ACE2, which is present on the heart. So as soon as you are infected with COVID, and even if it goes away, the COVID spike proteins tend to go and settle on these. As soon as they settle on the heart, there is an immune response immediately by the body, because of which the heart inflames, and there is damage in the heart. Because of which I feel that there is a lot of heart issues after COVID, because of this very reason. And also some additives which are there in the COVID vaccine, not exactly the vaccine itself, but it's just the additives. So one of patients came to us who had a lot of sensitivities because of COVID, post-COVID. It's called as post-COVID COVID long haul. especially sound sensitivities and other things. We started administering her the COVID. We started administering remedies to detoxify these spike proteins and also other toxins as well. So within a month, she has now significantly less hypersensitivity to sound and other sensitivities. The treatment is still going on, but yeah, we have seen this autism. So our main focus has been autism till now. We have been administering the remedies to a lot of autistic kids. What we have seen is within once we start, like autistic kids are filled with toxins, mercury, aluminum, lead, and nano aluminum. There are other forms of aluminum. We have tried to do muscle testing and tried to see what are present in the autistic kids. What we have found is there are aluminum, like other forms of aluminum, like aluminum hydroxide and aluminum, other forms of aluminum. And there's cadmium, there's a lot of strontium. Even in the hair mineral test, we have found a lot of strontium, barium, which have been affecting the kids. Now, what we have understood with autistic kids, what is happening is, in general, healthy human body, there is glutamates and there is GABA. The glutamates have to get converted to GABA. In the presence of in presence of B6 and few other cofactors, this happens. But if there is presence of toxins and pathogens, we see that there is the conversion doesn't happen, and all the things which are lacking in autistic kids, like the speech or the balance or the understanding or the social interaction, are actually governed by GABA. So if we are able to get the toxins out and get the pathogens out, then we are basically able to see that the conversion happens and there is improvement. There are several of the case studies which I'll post as a testimonials if anyone needs on the group. There's one 4-year-old kid which we saw after administering. They started responding to name calling, balance in walking on small pillars, and increase in understanding, reduction in sensory issues, decrease in hyperactivity, and increase in focus. Similarly, we saw it in 11-year-old and a lot many kids we have responding and expressive languages, and fine motor skills increasing, wherein they are able to hold pencil, increase in understanding. One particular case, if we can talk about, is there's a person with autism who is almost 30 years now, 28 or 29, around this age. After we have administered, she used to have hallucinations as well along with it. So the hallucinations have come down significantly after 2.5 months of administering. So scalar energy seems to be a very potent form of detoxification, wherein we can, without any chemical intervention directly, and it can also take out toxins right from inside the cell. Again, one more case study I want to give us about a 63-year-old woman who has Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So after administering the various antidote remedies, we have found increase in energies, reduction in pain, and reduction in frequency of urination. So these were some of the things we can see. And along with what we are doing at FMC, we are seeing great results. This is a brief thing. If there are any questions, we can take questions, or yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Praveen, for sharing information on Scalar and the success you've had so far with that. I'll stop your screen. Yes. So we have some questions here. And so how do you determine the frequencies of the organ, the tissue, the toxins? And there's one more question, so I'll combine that question. What if, there is a similarity between the frequency of an organ and the toxin? Can a situation like that also happen?
No, actually, every frequencies are unique. Uh, a toxin frequency does not match with the human frequency. Nature has made it in such a way that we don't. Obviously, if at all that was something useful to our body, it would have remained in our body, and we would have used it. Since it is not useful to our body, we want to expel that. So frequencies matching doesn't happen. If we understand the whole study of homeopathics, it also revolves around this very concept. Because homeopathy also, if you see the way the homeopathics are prepared, there is no chemical in it. There's a mother tincture is prepared, and with that there is 100 parts water mixed and 1 part the mother tincture is mixed, and you go on succussing it and diluting it. So once you continue this process, you basically have no chemical in that layer. It is basically the molecular imprint that is there. The homeopaths have observed through ages, like they have studied a lot, wherein they have picked a lot of frequencies from outside in the nature, say a flower, say a plant, which actually vibrates in a similar resonance as our human body, as our human organ. So once a homeopathic medicine is administered, it basically increases the amplitude of the human organ, or whatever they are, like say if they are trying to stimulate the immune system. So in Scalar, what we are trying to do is the concept remains same, but detoxification, we are trying to shift the phase of the frequency, and also it is very specific. We are trying to target it specifically. What happens is, if at all if we give a lot of frequencies to the body becomes it gets confusing to the body to what to act on. By its innate nature, it will try to do the best. If at all we want to force the body to say, once we have understood a particular toxin is creating havoc in the body, we can directly target that particular toxin as well. So yeah, that's what
Yeah.
we also
Yeah, please
sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah. So I just forgot to mention, we also have seen great result with radiation detoxification, because in this day and age, radiation is one of the major thing that is happening. What we have seen especially with autistic kids is we started administering the radiation detoxification. Once that started happening, they started releasing parasites. We administer them for 6 days, 7 days, and after that the parasites start coming out, and new words they start speaking new words, new sentences. Their expressive language become new. So we see that especially one of the parent, she works in BSNL, wherein she used to carry the kid there, wherein a lot of radiation because of the mobile tower and other things. She started administering this, a lot of huge detox reactions. It took a few days to settle down, but once that settled down, there was a lot of things that started happening. Expressive language started increasing, and other things started happening. So yeah.
So isn't it amazing, I mean, that how it's like something was stuck, right? And you're
Yeah.
able to really extract it out of the system. And once you do that, you're also able to physically see that how it's also opening up channels for other toxins, like parasites come out, like how we see so many parasites coming out where were all they hidden, and it's
Yeah.
not all parasites, it's like really long worms coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing to see, because the parasites and the like all the pathogens have great safe haven when when the body is
Yeah.
built completely inside the toxic environment. And once we start removing, and we start administering what we are administering at FMC, the anti-parasites and others, it becomes a great combination. Yeah, we keep seeing this repeatedly once the toxins keep getting out.
Right. So there's a question, what is that scalar medicine made of?
The scalar medicine is made of this double distilled water. We use double distilled water, and for preservation purposes, we use either alcohol or Lugol's iodine, or something like a colloidal silver, depending on if at all some people can be sensitive to alcohol. That is the reason we use Lugol's iodine or colloidal silver. But alcohol is enough, because water can get a fungus inside. That's it. That's all that is there in the remedy, and you take 2 to 3 drops of it under the tongue, and rest of the work just the body does. We don't even need to.
And usually, what's the timeline like? For how long one would need to take the scalar energy?
So it will totally depend on the toxicity of the person who is taking it, but we should start seeing the difference within 15 to 20 days. Even what I've seen is there is decrease in inflammatory markers after taking this. Obviously, there is a decrease in the heavy metals and others, which we can obviously see straight away with the effects it is showing, with the reduction in the symptoms, like the autoimmunity case which I was talking about. So the person, like what she said was, she used to travel in the train, and she had to visit the loo again and again. A lot of urination for the first time in 10-15 years. When she started taking this after a month and a half, when she was traveling for almost 8 to 9 hours, she did not go to the go to the loo. So that was something amazing to see. Yeah.
So I have a question: from what age scalar drops can be taken?
There's no age limit. You can start it right from birth and to the old age. There's absolutely no. And if at all we want to understand more about it, it is somewhat a potential version of something our ancestors used to do in India, wherein you have something called as teeth. Teeth is put on a particular deity. The energy of that deity is absorbed in that particular water, and you consume it and have the healing effects of that particular, especially the Vaiteshwaran coil and other places. Obviously we don't have such things right now with us. We use the concept is something similar. We make it very potentialize it and make sure that has a very huge effect once we start it.
Right. So, Praveen, isn't it interesting that, we keep saying that the body has the inherent ability to heal itself. We just need to give it the right conditions. So, it's not in all the cases a child is born with autism. They acquire their life. So look at what really led to, the symptoms and start working on it. And in many cases, we have seen heavy metal toxins to be one of the reasons, right? And if we are able to remove it from the system, work on the basics that the body need, right? We can see so much improvement in the child and help the child recover.
Yeah, we detoxify, we give them the nutrition, we give them the necessary environment, then the body starts responding. Absolutely. You're absolutely right in this.
Yes, and so thank you so much for sharing your insights on scalar medicine. I request you to please stay back for the panel and join the panel discussion. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity. Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks.